Hey guys, what's back to the video? We just got done watching Succession Season 4. So in this video, we're going to be giving you guys our review on Succession Season 4, but also the entire series. Before we get into it, you guys can check out my Succession Seasons 1 through 3 review. They'll be linked in the description down below, as well as Brantley and I's reaction to the season finale. And before we get into Brantley and I's thoughts on the season and the series as a whole, let me know what you guys thought of the show in the comments down below. Feel free to spoil away, as we will be talking all things spoilers in this video. But without wasting any more time, let's get right into it. We're going to start the video by talking about Season 4. Later in the video, we'll talk about the show as a whole, and then also give you guys our ranking of all the seasons of Succession. But to start off, what do you think of Season 4?
I thought it was great. Like, truly, overall, I guess spoiler for my list of them, but this is the best season of the show. It was something that every episode I would text them, almost every episode, this is my favorite episode of the season.
And
every single one.
Stretch from 3 to the end is crazy.
It's ridiculous. That's a crazy streak.
And I think it's also because it wasn't just the story. It was also just visual elements. In the finale, there was that shot through the tray of the alcohol tray. I thought it was through the bottom of the. I thought it was a hole or something. Yeah, it was a reflection. And if you guys saw our reaction, if you haven't seen it already, you can check it out. Link is in the description down below.
That's a crazy shot. Oh my god.
But Brantley and I had the craziest reaction to just so many visual cues.
Cinematography. It was up. It's always been great in the show. It's been very subtle, but great shots. But this season, you can really tell
they upped it.
They put everything into this season.
Especially the Connor's wedding scene, the one take, the way that they shot it. Yeah. With even though it was on film, they just kept shooting it, and they would swap out film rolls as the actors were still acting. It felt like this season they took the craft to another level. And I think that's why it exceeds compared to the other seasons. Even though I think all the other seasons are phenomenal.
Yeah.
I still think this one they just took it a notch up with all
everything. I see the performances, the scores,
the
aspect of the show. It's been great. God. Somehow they just turned it all up for this season.
Yeah. Kieran Culkin, Sarah Snook, Jeremy Strong, not Jesse. Jesse Armstrong's the writer. Yeah, Jeremy Strong. The leads were just incredible, and they all had their own time to shine. It wasn't it was just one actor, but I think Kieran Culkin slid his way through for me personally.
Especially this episode 2 shows a lot. This season he really Roman kind of just grappling with Logan's death and how that changes him as a character. He portrayed that really well on screen. It was just all around great performance.
It's I don't even remember. I remember some of Roman from the previous seasons, but this is where his character makes his mark, really.
I agree, and it's dope because at the end of season 3, you kind of see his kind of shift, becoming more kind of an emotional character. You kind of see that he's a bit more emotionally sensitive compared to other siblings, I would say. Towards the end of last season, but this season they really hone in on that, and the way Kieran Culkin's performance, he just portrayed that amazingly.
And the thing is, they know also he's just a weirdo character too, but they also still make him the most emotionally resonant character, which is weird. Well, I mean, in the context of Succession, it makes sense. It's crazy how his relationship started in the beginning of this season, but here just on an emotional level, by far the best season in my opinion. In terms of just focusing on one character's emotional side, we got that with Sarah Snook and Jeremy Strong. Jeremy Strong, we got that with them, but never to the extent of what we got with Roman, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think it kind of goes back to even this episode, the finale, what Kendall says to him about you might be just too basically too nice to do this, and you do kind of see his point in that sense, because Roman does seem to kind of have some. I mean, obviously these characters are all pretty bad people. They're not, but Roman, you can tell compared to the other siblings, he does kind of have
more emotion at least.
Yeah, he kind of there's moments, even moments throughout the season you see when one moment in the finale, or not finale, in the episode where they're going to Logan's house and Carrie drops all her stuff.
He's the one who helps her.
He has these kind of some moments of his kindness, and you're okay, maybe he's not completely irredeemable.
Yeah, all the other ones are just focused on business. But I also think Shiv's decision at the end of the finale to not vote for Kendall is that was emotional to an extent, but it was also just blunt of I don't think you can do it. And because Kendall was right. She was voting against herself. I think that dynamic, it just felt too happy and then too not happy. There was no in between for at least Shiv and Kendall.
That's what I'm saying. Especially after the moment they had when they were at their mother's house, for her to flip like that, I mean, I guess it makes sense to an extent. I just wish
for her
she
character.
did kind of, yeah, for her character. But I wish they did kind of elaborate more on like a reasoning versus like, oh, I just don't think you can do it anymore.
Yeah,
and like
you killed a kid.
Yeah, when like literally the day before we all agreed that you could do it, or that you were the best fit out of the three of them to lead the charge. So I just thought that was the only thing, but I love that scene a lot, especially just it was very emotion charged.
I think the fact that they bring up the stuff, like the kid stuff, well, the killing kid stuff, and then Kendall's kid thing, like that was insane. And like the fact that they like brought all that stuff up just to prove that you can't be CEO because of these things, like the kid thing, like what could Kendall have done? Like he would have been more of a if he just like let Rava go.
Like
there's no right thing to do in that scenario, in my opinion. I don't know.
That was a crazy.
Yeah, that was a wild scene.
I was the only thing that took away from it a little bit. It's just my personal. I do like.
Yeah.
I'm just not a big fan of like very kind of like in like high tense moments like left field kind of reveals. Where this one was never like really, unless we missed something, which would be awesome if it was like a subtle thing in the past that we just missed. But I wish it was something that was maybe subtly implied previously.
Well, I kind of like that. I kind of like that they bring it up, but it's not like it's not an actual make or break factor. They're just throwing it at him.
That's true.
Like the kid thing should not be a make or break factor.
Yeah.
Like that's just like a thing that he told him in a moment of like vulnerability, in my opinion. But it's like not something that they like needed to like bring up again, and they just start throwing shit at him, so he looks worse and worse and worse. Like I liked how fast we talked about this in the series, in the episode review and the reaction, but I liked how fast it was. I genuinely think that encapsulated what I liked about the season so much. Is like they in individual episodes they build up like happy emotion whatever for like 30 minutes. And then they just go boom, 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 and they go all in on every like depressing, sad. You know what I mean? So like they do like a good balance of it all. So I think it works for me at least because I enjoy the fact that they've done it before. Honestly, the general story of Succession keeps repeating. Like it's not like ever a very different story.
Oh yeah, I know.
It's just it's the same story with different people every season. The writer literally said that. It's just the same thing, except instead of Tom betraying, it's Shiv. Like, there are major parallels to the central story. And, like, you can view it as parallels, you can view it as copycat, you can view it as whatever. I just think it's really cool that they can repeat it and it still be, it still feels just as, if not more impactful.
Exactly.
Like, I would say, like, obviously Tom's was a moment of, like, a reveal. His was, like, a twist. Like, when you see Tom, you're like, oh my god, that was Tom. But then, like, in this, it's like you see Shiv's, like, thought process through the whole thing.
I mean, it was weird to me, I would say, after, like, the election episode, where they, like, where the betrayal was, like, revealed to the siblings.
The Nate stuff?
Yeah, didn't, like, that, I feel like, in the moment, I felt like it should be, like, a bigger moment, and it kind of didn't feel as big as, like, nowhere near as big as the Tom thing.
Yeah.
But it was, like, and then she kind of, after that point, I thought it was interesting how she kind of like, just went to their side. Like, once it was out, it was like, oh yeah, I did it, I don't care. So I'm still going to just be on their side.
Yeah.
But I thought that was pretty cool. But the fact that kind of came around in this one, and just seeing her at the beginning of this finale, like, so confident. Like, you knew it was going to go wrong for her. And it was just like...
But the thing, it's crazy how she didn't even end up at the complete bottom. Like, she still has Tom.
You could argue that she in the best place out of all three siblings.
Yeah. Well, no, honestly, no. I actually
but not emotionally.
I think Roman ended up in the best place because he still has a vote in the company. Because he didn't vote himself out of the company. He's still in the company. Yeah, so was Kendall. But, like, he's not going to, like, be able to do anything with one vote. But, like, I think, like, Roman had the best outcome of every single one of these siblings because...
But I don't know, he's going to have, like, a... But what's, like, position anymore?
No, because he doesn't... Well, Roman was doing the 100 thing, remember? Like, he was doing the other... Like, he was ready to move on. That was the whole point of the first episode. He could
go on and do that, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Is like, his whole point of the first episode was, like, I don't want to be a part of this anymore. I want to get out of it. But Kendall and Shiv were like, no, I want to, like, our dad again. I want to keep messing him up. But Roman always wanted to get out. And now he's out. He has a board vote, but he's completely out of, like, all of the beef, the drama.
He won for his own, like, personal character.
Even Shiv, now Shiv has to deal with Tom's BS still. She's pregnant with Tom's kid. She doesn't actually love Tom.
You know, I think, like, I meant more so, like, just, like, actually position-wise. In terms of, like, what the characters kind of wanted, I guess.
Yeah.
Except for Roman.
No, but Shiv doesn't have a position in the company.
I'm saying in terms of, like, status-wise, I would argue she's probably better off.
Nah, dude, Shiv doesn't have a job. Oh, but Kendall,
I mean, he'll probably give her something, though, especially if they're...
Yeah.
But I think at least, like, the way I took that last scene, like, them in the car is, like, it's gonna be the same scenario that Tom was in, but now...
It's flipped.
Shiv is the Tom.
Yeah.
So she'll have something, but she'll be in Tom's hand, essentially.
Yeah.
like he'll have the control over how far she can rise up and down the company.
Yeah. And I think that the thing is, like, it felt kind of random that, like, in the beginning of this episode, Mattson was like, hey, like, why should I make you CEO? Like, he was just trying to pitch him, right? I felt like that was kind of random.
Like, I think Mattson's kind of portrayed to be, like, a very kind of, like...
spontaneous guy.
Yeah. Because even, like, because he was considering what the dude from Vulture before Tom, I think, like, it was kind of, he was going with whatever he felt was best, like... But you can tell he didn't have a plan, really. I think that's also kind of what made him, I guess... I mean, I remember Mattson, like, that's what made him kind of more of an interesting, like, antagonist, I guess, for this season. Yeah. Like, the fact he was very...
He just did whatever he wanted.
He just went with, like, however he was feeling, like, in the moment. And, I think seeing him and Shiv that dynamic for the whole season was really cool, because you knew it was going to blow up in her face eventually. Like,
yeah, no.
You could tell, like, it was just... And does that recur? Shiv, like,
even think like the India, so like the like India numbers thing, like that's like she was telling me, was like, oh, like it's gonna blow up in my face, like it's gonna be my fault, whatever. And Mattson just didn't care because he knew it wasn't gonna be Shiv. I think that's my biggest gripe with the show, is Shiv's character. Is I think how she's written.
I don't know. I like the aspect of like how like she like never really changes, and that same mentality screws her over time and time again. But I just wish she was a little bit more. Yeah, complex character-wise, like she doesn't have like a true identity. I would say, where it's like the girl is just overconfident and messes everything up.
Like I think like with all of, like the Nate and Tom stuff in like seasons 1 and 2 and like beginning of 3, but now that we're like now that she's separated from like the whole Tom thing. Like, the Tom stuff was the most interesting part of her character. Like, when they were yelling out in the balcony, like, that's where her character felt the most complex and torn.
That kind of, like, relationship.
But, like, whenever she's just doing, like, stuff with her siblings, it doesn't feel like it's earned because she's always so back and forth. Like, she never has, like, a stance on anything. She's always just trying to get, like, in a higher position. Whereas, like, even Kendall and Roman, they're trying to, like, BS people. But, like, at least they're, like, together, Rock.
And I think as a viewer, like, out of the 3 main siblings, like, the show doesn't really give you, like, really truly any evidence to even make you, like, consider Shiv to be, like a vibe or, like, a
threat, right?
Like, a real equipped person. Like, even, like, Roman and Kim, like, you're like, oh, these people, like, they'll be horrible. But, like, there's always a little kind of argument you can make for them to be like, okay, maybe I can see Roman as CEO. Maybe I can see Kim, like, Kim doing this. But, like, Shiv, it's never been, like... I don't know what she brings to the table to be like a CEO or anything like that. Like when they are having a conversation in this, like the finale about like who they're gonna pick, like Shiv in my mind,
she had no pitch on her side. Like there's no reason why she should be the CEO. And the thing is, like, I think the main factor why it made her so interesting to become CEO was where Tom would land, because you'd be like, okay, how will Tom leech off of this, and how will this impact their relationship? But this season they throw the whole relationship like out. Because of the thing in season 3, it's like you have these moments every like 2 episodes, but like you never fully get like reinvested into that relationship, so it's not as interesting. But honestly, that's my only gripe. Like I would say like Shiv's character is my only problem with the whole show, and honestly, it's only a problem starting in season 4 because her relationship with Tom is so different. Like I think
that's true, but I guess I don't know, because I would say like you kind of said it, like you're right, like to make her interesting though, like I don't know if she has like if I don't know if she was like truly an interesting characters, they just had to throw in like
interesting
storylines to make her seem more interesting than what she probably actually was. Yeah. I kind of just wish she was the character work on her was a bit more, was a lot better.
Yeah.
But I do like the idea, like the simple idea of her just being like this overconfident person that just pushes a little too hard all the time and ends up falling over. Like what was it, season 2, like the dinner scene where she was like, just announce it. Like that was the most frustrating thing I've ever watched. She had it in her the biggest fumble. But it's like in that season I kind of understood where she was coming from, because the way her dad was acting was very like I might be the same way too, because he was kind of like playing. He was like, so I kind of had some sympathy for her there, but like seeing it happen time and time again of her just the same cycle, you're just like, come on.
And I think it's just like frustrating because all the other characters have different stories that they're always being told. Yeah. But Shiv keeps running the same thing back. It's so annoying.
I mean, it's funny though.
Yeah, no, it's funny.
This episode was hilarious.
Like we knew. The thing is, like as we were watching, we were like, oh, it's gonna fumble. Like, it's gonna all crumble. Like it's done. Like she's cooked. But Other characters, I don't know, like I think all of the old guard, even like Hugo was funny. Like
Dude,
they just have a good like.
The old guard was amazing this season.
Yeah, it's just like a good like ending. Like it's just like a simple like even the election episode where they were like Connor's running for president. Like it's just like small stuff.
Like, they were like the only because really most of the season with the siblings like it was mostly like very serious. The old guard was like the main comedic relief, you would say, but they were really good. I would say like I'd say the not the only, but I guess one as kind of issue I have this not issue, but it's issue I can see other people bringing up is like I would say this. There are moments I could argue like the season as a whole does feel like it did kind of slightly cram a little bit.
Oh, 100%.
Like I definitely feel like there was.
I mean, dude, the finale is an hour 30 minutes, bro.
Like you could argue that this maybe could have been split out a bit more.
I think it could have been split into 12 episodes max. Like, I don't think you could have done a whole new season.
I don't know, though, because I think, like... I don't know. I think maybe you...
Nah, there's no way a whole new season would be wild. I think they could do 12 episodes, keeping them all an hour.
Because, honestly, I think they could definitely stretch out the idea of getting shareholders on each other's side. That could have been, like, episode or two in itself. Like,
yeah, because last season, season, that was a whole episode.
That could have been definitely, like... That could have ended this season and the next... I don't know, like... I think they could definitely...
I don't think they could have done a whole new season, but yeah, definitely like 13 episodes. Because if you think about it, last episode was 20 minutes over an hour. This one was 30 minutes over an hour. Plus you add, if you want to make a shareholder episode, that's 2 extra episodes. So I could definitely see, and honestly, they could have made the funeral scene episode longer too. Like last week, they could have stretched that to like an hour 40, 100%. Even this episode, they could have stretched it for sure. Like there's so much they could have done. Like I feel like the last 20 minutes of this episode, like, I'm not going to say it felt rushed, because I think they had to make it go fast for, like, emotional reason. It definitely was faster than the rest of it.
Definitely.
Like, they could have stretched it out if they wanted to, like, the boardroom scene. Like, they went, yes, no, yes. Like, it was so quick. And I was like, we're already at this. Like, we're already, like, saying yes, no. And, like, this is, like, the culmination. But then I realized, then they, like, stopped and moved on and, like, talk a shit in the room. So that all worked out. But honestly, the more I think about it, like, even episodes 1 and 2 were bangers.
Yeah, dude, the show started off with a bang. Like, that whole episode...
Like, the Pierce deal was so good.
That episode and stuff had so much tension and, like... It felt like everything was on the line.
Like, people say, like... People are like, oh, episode 3 started the streak of legendary TV. But, like, honestly, episode 1...
Show's been hot since season 1.
Yeah, no, well, that too, yeah.
I mean, no, I agree. Hot since episode 1, but same thing applies.
Yeah, like since the beginning. I'm saying that, like, this is one of the greatest shows of all time. Like, I'm going top 3.
Yeah, it's
like, I'm honestly,
might be my all-time.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It's giving Breaking Bad a run for its money, and I think it's because it like.
I think it's topped.
I think really.
I think it's better than Breaking Bad.
Yeah. Okay. I don't want to be the one to say it, but like I think it's like I think because it's so concise too. Like, it's 4 seasons. So it's like a lot more content in Breaking Bad. But I don't know. Like, I felt way more invested in the characters.
This show, yeah, because it's tight. You're right, it's tighter.
Yeah.
It's
I think it's just, this is the best written show of all time. One of the best written pieces of media I've ever seen.
The writing was amazing, yeah.
And honestly, it's also one of the best shot things I've ever seen, I think.
The cinematography is crazy.
Like,
yeah, it's probably my favorite show of all time. I can't say, like, I felt more invested within, like, characters in the show more than this one.
Yeah. Like, I think, like, it just, in general, like, close it off, but also, like, it's just the fact that they wrapped up the whole show in what felt like 20 minutes. Like, the last 20 minutes of this episode felt like the culmination of the whole show. Like, yeah, the entire episode, like, they had callbacks, they had family stuff. Like, most of the episode was just the 3 siblings together, and that's great.
I think
but
that's
like,
a great way to finish.
The fact that they like end it on a tragedy works perfectly. Like,
I mean, I think ending on a good note would have definitely like kind of subverted the expectation because people expect it to be a tragedy, but like I do think this is more like say
it's Succession. Like, it feels like the show.
Yeah. It's more
like,
in line with what we've seen.
Like, you'd be like, oh, like, they're going to end, like, season 3 would end on a tragedy. And so season 4, they can end it and make it happy and stuff like that. But it's like, no, it's just tragedy. At the end of every season, end of season 2, what was end of season 1? I don't remember.
I mean, he killed the kid.
Oh, he killed the kid, yeah. Killed the kid, end of season 1. Season 2 betrays his dad. Season 3, Tom betrays all of the siblings. And their mom technically betrays him too. And then this one, Shiv betrays the whole, like, all... Well, honestly, Shiv just betrays Kendall because even Roman was on Shiv's side. Let's do season rankings. I'm just going to tell you guys, top to bottom, I'm going 4 is the best, 1 is the worst, everything in between. So I'm going 4, 3, 2, 1. I think it gets better every single season.
4 is the best, 1 is the worst. But I think I personally enjoyed 2 more than 3.
Okay.
But also, I would say I really want to go back and watch season 3 again because that was like, I was binging the show like crazy.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of when I got a little bit of binge fatigue when I hit like halfway through season 3.
Yeah.
The episode was so long too. Like, I think I do want to go back and revisit that season because season 3 was amazing. But I do feel like that middle portion, especially because you have like Kendall on his one side and of course the siblings and dad and the other, like there's like that kind of middle portion, like when Madison's kind of first getting involved.
Yeah.
I feel like this show was kind of it was kind of weird. Like it was 1 or 2 episodes like in the middle of that season, I was like, I'm kind of a little tired of this. And then it picks back up once they're at the wedding and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we're not. Is it wedding? Yeah, the mom's wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah. And 2, I really like just coming off the ending of season 1, like seeing Kendall be like just completely down in the dumps for most of the season. Like his dad's like just has him on like a leash.
Yeah.
And for him to kind of like have this kind of really this rise at like the end of the season, and like
I think the reason why I like season 3 so much is because I like Tom so much. I like Greg so much. So inherently, like I think season 3 is obviously Tom and Greg's best season. And so like story wise, like just in like terms of their impact, like I think that's where also just like the fear of Tom going to jail, like that's all insane.
Yeah.
Like the fact that it also felt really real. That like, oh, like he could actually be sacrificed. Like all of those things, I think that's what makes season 3 the best, or like the second best for me.
I don't know, just that moment like the scene with Logan, like he's watching the TV and just Kendall at the press conference and like
Season 2 finale is also a banger.
That is insane.
My favorite part about like the reason why I think this is like one of if not the best show ever is just the fact that like every season progressively they just like enhance everything they did before. Yeah. Like season 1 they had a great story, great characters. Season 2 they just made everything like 10 times better, and season 3 they just like multiplied it. Like they went like every character had an interesting story. They all like conflicted with one another. And then season 4 just went to a whole other level with like Logan's death and everything. Like that was just insane. I also was just not expecting them to like kill Logan in episode 3. Like that was crazy.
I think that also makes season 4 so great. The fact that like I think it's honestly just like Jesse Armstrong like reflects like I'm gonna take the central piece of my show out of my show and I'm still gonna make this
a banger
as engaging as it was before and arguably more engaging than it's ever been. Like that is just ridiculous.
Did you see Brian Cox said he thought he was written out of the show too early? Like I don't know, like I think it works. Like I think it's like if they killed him off any later, it wouldn't have given us enough time. Like I think they were already cutting it close with like only giving us like 7 episodes without Logan.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think if they killed him off later, the story would definitely probably be different.
Yeah.
If they killed him off later, it probably wouldn't be like the same thing rushed. It'd probably be kind of a different take on what happened. But I think like the episode 3 was good. I think the fact that it was so like the episode called Connors, it was just so unexpected. Like it was really every other episode kind of gives you something that kind of like church and state was the last one for like that kind of implied like it's like a funeral, church and state. Okay, the fact that like somehow they make you attach these people that are like in real life would be like I mean there's still horror people in the show, but like you should not like these people. Like, I shouldn't really care like that this evil racist billionaire misogynistic billionaire like died.
Yeah.
But like, and like what that does to his like
family's
evil
legacy,
children, but like this show made me care about them. Like.
But that's pretty much it again. Thank you so much for watching. As always, let us know your thoughts on Succession Season 4, the finale, and the show as a whole in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.